Amber Fox, and I wanted to continue my discussion with you about Harv Eker's The Secret of the Millionaire Mind book, and how it has completely changed the way I think and is bringing so much into my life. And, I talked about, beliefs, and I talked about what happens to you in your past affects the way you make decisions about money today. And so I'm going to talk about his second influence. In the book, he talks about modeling. And what he means by modeling is, what were your parents like? Did they manage their money well? Did they spend a lot of money or save a lot of money? Did they invest any money? Were they risk takers or were they conservative? Was money constantly there when you were young, or was it sporadic? Or was it never there at all? Did they struggle? And if you had two parents growing up, did your parents argue about money? Did it cause arguments? Or was money always something fun and joyful? Do you relate it to something, exciting that happened in your life all the time? So I want you to think about that. Think about what your parents were like with money, because you'll be surprised at how much it really affects you. We tend to be identical to one or a combination of our parents in the arena of money, or we try to be the complete opposite of them. So think about how your parents were with money, and then think about how you are with money now. Are you trying to be completely opposite of them because you don't want to turn out like they did? Or are you identical? With me, I found myself being identical to them. But once I realized that I didn't want to be in the situation I was in, I did something different. That's when I got in the online business. And this was before I read this book, so I didn't realize all this. This was just all stuff that happened. And I got in, and I became successful, and I found that there was more out there than just struggling at an hourly job. And that's where I started turning a little bit away from my parents, because that's not how they were. Now, they're very supportive of me now, and I have nothing against the way they were, but sometimes you have to realize that you're just doing what your parents did, and you can change that. Or maybe you're doing the complete opposite of what your parents did. But if it's not, making you successful, then maybe you need to change that. If your motivation for acquiring money or success comes from a non-supportive root, such as fear, anger, or the need to prove yourself, your money will never bring you happiness. Your motivation for acquiring money has to be for something else. You can't solve any of those issues with money. Like, my motivation for money is helping people. Now that I've been able to stay at home with my kids, I'm ready to help other people, and that's a good motivation to have for money. Now, I'm going to give you some steps for change and how you can change, the way you were modeled. Number 1 is awareness. Consider the ways of being and habits each of your parents had around money and wealth. I want you to write down how you may be identical or opposite to either of your parents. Number 2, understanding. Write down the effect this modeling has had on your financial life. Number 3, disassociation. Can you see the way of being is only what you learned, and it's not you? Can you see that you have a choice in your present moment right now to be different? You don't have to do what they did. You don't have to try to be completely opposite of them. Just do something different. Be you. And number 4, I want to do this declaration with you that he does in the book. And if it really sinks in, you're really going to be successful. Put your hand over your heart and say, What I modeled around money was their way. I choose my way. I have a millionaire mind.